Hi, everybody. It's Juliet Fox from AvidEdge Executive Search, and I'm here with Mark Price from St. Thomas University, University of St. Thomas, one of those two, Opus College of Business. We're going to talk a little bit about AI, but mostly we want to tee up the AI workshop that we're doing in the fall. And it's a little different than some of the ones that you have seen kind of out there as a high-level AI. And so I wanted Mark to come in the studio today to talk a little bit about what people will take away, who it's really targeted for, and what it's all about. So welcome, Mark. Welcome to the Divine Fox Production Studio.
Thank you very much.
Here in the Itasca building in Minneapolis.
Thank you very much, and thank you for inviting me in to talk about this. This is a unique time in history, Juliet. There are such significant changes coming in how people are doing business today and how they're going to be doing it in the future, that companies are really scrambling with the challenge. Because not only are there ways to reinvent the businesses and add significant profitability, but there's also significant risk. There's significant risk of data being exposed, of copyright and patent issues. There are a number of things that can go terribly wrong in AI. So companies both feel the need to move quickly to take advantage of the situation and at the same time feel really challenged about the risks associated with it. The reason we developed this one-day intensive seminar is to provide medium-sized and larger-sized companies, senior executives on the business side, with an understanding of what is going on in AI right now. And in addition to that, be able to look at the best practices in terms of how people are mitigating risk and taking advantage of opportunity. All of that is something that you might very well see in other seminars as well. But the one thing that we are doing that I believe really makes this especially valuable for participants is that they are going to come out of it with an AI strategy that links to their corporate strategic plan, gives them a roadmap of where to go, timing, vulnerabilities, key opportunities, and next steps. That level of granularity is rarely included in other programs, and I think, frankly, without it, you do a disservice to participants who might be joining any of these programs.
I totally agree, and this is why I was so excited to partner with you on this, because, I think that if we're going to dive into AI, we need to dive into it fully knowledgeable about what the implications are across the board, and not just a high level, right? I think it took us a year or so to say even what AI was,
yes.
Right? And now there's a lot more common understanding of what the meaning of AI is. But to be able to bring it into a tech group, be able to operationalize it within the fears of security, within the expectations of productivity, is actually the daunting part of it, right?
And you add in on top of that a velocity of new applications and new approaches that are coming on a weekly basis that just add more noise and more confusion to the industry. So you see these enormous promises of being able to fundamentally change the way that we do business, how we interact with our customers, how we interact with our suppliers, how we interact even inside the organization. And yet there is this sound of constant noise out there that is just overwhelming. And I fear that many companies will choose not to take advantage of this until their competitors have already figured it out.
Mm-hmm. And you do a much longer course on this, right, at St. Thomas?
Yes, I do two different versions. I do a 2-day executive education. I also teach this to graduate students for an entire semester. So you can imagine the level of detail that we're getting into. The one thing I want to stress with this is that this program, while it is in detail, is not technical. This is not for CIOs and CTOs. This is not about coding. This is about how do you handle this explosion within the organization. Because the hardest part of this is getting over organizational resistance. It is so much harder than any of the technical issues. It's not even close.
Right. Well, I'm really excited for it. I know maybe would describe myself as a little bit technical, but hopefully I'm technical enough for this, and I'm excited to sit in on it and excited for everyone else to join us. What do you think people will leave with?
People will leave with a detailed plan. So the first thing they'll leave with, actually, to back up, is a decent understanding of what's going on in the industry. Because guaranteed, when you come back from one of these, someone's going to come up to you the next day in the hall and said, hey, Mr. or Ms. AI, I just saw this cool thing that happened. What do you think about that? So we have to keep people up to speed on what's going on. But the second thing is answering the question, we spent the money, what are we going to do, and what are we going to get out of it? And the goal is to have a pretty solid plan for both of those to bring back into the organization, to really equip our participants to be the change leaders in their organization and really kind of rise up as someone who people can have confidence in about this very, very confusing industry.
Oh, I love that. So as you've been teaching, even for your 2-day and what we expect to do in this day, I know that we will also be offering your services afterwards if people want to jump in even further in a very customized way as well. As you're teaching it now, what are the kinds of people at companies that are benefiting the most? Is it directed toward a digital transformation person? Is it directed toward a COO or a CFO? Or what do you think is the title of a position of the people that are going to maybe sign up for it that is most targeted for this?
Well, I'd say there are a broad range of positions that could have value from it. But at the same time, pretty much the best target would be people who have P&L responsibility, right? So you'd be looking at division general managers or directors, corporate general managers and directors, people who are involved in the business and will see and benefit from the changes in the P&L that come directly from it. And that those people can then have enough of a sphere of influence to be able to coordinate the right people to make this happen with the clear milestones that will come out of this program as well.
Excellent. Well, thank you, Mark. We are super excited about this. Anything else you want to add?
The only thing I would add is the industry is changing constantly. What I was planning on teaching in the spring is already out of date. So this is the kind of field that when you go into it, you need to be ready that they're going to move your cheese every quarter. And so it's going to require a constant level of learning and innovation and refinement. And that's part of what makes this so incredibly exciting to teach and what makes it so incredibly exciting for the leaders who come through a program like ours.
Well, I'm glad to see there's people out there like you that's willing to take on this chaos and help people, guide people toward being able to embrace it, really understanding how to embrace change in general, but in this fast-moving pace and in this critical environment that is affecting businesses so profoundly. What does the credit card commercial say? The one that says, priceless. Anyway, looking forward to seeing all of you in the fall. Thank you, Mark. I'm excited about this. I'm excited to get people really thinking deeply about it. So thank you.
It's my pleasure. I'm looking forward to it.
Thanks.